Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Just Plain Living. I'm Jim Fuller.
I'm Peggy Burton, and we're here to say Happy New Year! We got an audience today.
Yes, we do, and they're very enthusiastic.
We've got a house full of Hardys.
Yeah, a house full of Hardys.
And you can't buy a hot dog at their place or a hamburger.
I bet
they're going to be on the show
somebody
today.
can make you one there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You had a good vacation?
It was nice. Peggy and I, by the way, haven't been here in 2 weeks. So,
I know, and it was kind of nice.
In case you missed it, but they started the show one time today, and Peggy and I weren't paying attention, so we had to
start over.
We had to start over, which
Story
rarely ever happens on this.
Every day I start a new life. Every morning when I get up, I start over. Do you feel like that? When I wake up, I think, oh man, I got another chance.
I said one more chance. Some of you won't understand that when you get our age, you will.
Yeah, you will.
So anyway.
I got to go to Virginia.
To visit your son?
To visit my son and do New Year's Eve and carry on. We had a great time.
Did you party on New Year's Eve?
Just a little.
Just a little.
I was so impressed because, you know, since my surgery, I have not stayed awake late at all. I'm in bed by 10, and I made it till 12:30, so I was proud of myself.
I had a company that I don't think I anticipated, but my oldest granddaughter and her boyfriend came by and spent New Year's Eve with Nancy and I. So
that was sweet, yeah. It's hard for me to think of Abigail being her age. You know, I keep thinking there's this little girl, and
so it's hard for me to imagine that as well. She's
almost
18.
They all grow up so fast. They all grow up so fast.
And Nancy decided that we should be doing karaoke. We have a karaoke machine in my house.
So did y'all do that?
Well, yes, and I'm not sure how Abigail and her boyfriend managed that, because 10 years ago we quit doing it professionally.
Yeah.
You know. So anything that's loaded in that machine is at least 10 years old.
And they could sing the song?
Some of them they knew, yeah.
That's
some of them they
great,
knew.
yeah. Well, you'd be surprised what young people know.
Yeah.
I think we have to introduce them to that music, because they're not going to automatically be singing Frank Sinatra, for instance, which I know you're a fan of.
Right.
But that's fun.
You know, I actually was not a fan of Frank Sinatra.
You weren't? Okay.
Well, initially I wasn't.
I know you sang New York, New York.
Well, I sang a lot of this stuff, but I just had never been around that kind of music.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of music. And Wendell Hartman decided it would be good to do that, and I became to like him a lot. You know,
well,
his music
I think
a lot.
He was one of the first. You know, back in the day, there was, of course, we go Bing Crosby, you can move up and move up and move up, and now we got Bublé, who sings a lot like Frank Sinatra, and that's kind of interesting. But you got to hear it, you got to like it.
Right.
You have to hear it, and it's not necessarily on the radio a lot.
No. Although with Sirius Radio these days, there's a Frank Sinatra channel, actually. So you probably know that.
His daughter is the announcer on that show.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think it's Nancy Sinatra.
Yeah, Nancy Sinatra. Frank and her did a song together. Remember Something Stupid, and
they
probably
did something
others.
Stupid, and
there's probably
way
others.
I have to say, I thought the song was a little stupid, but
okay.
Anyway, she also did, and I think this her only big record was "These Boots Are Made for Walking."
Right.
But she had a hard act to follow with her dad.
Yeah.
He was really fabulous.
And performed, if I recall, up until the mid-'80s, did he?
He did.
His mid-'80s, yeah. So.
And a lot of people do, you know, that's one thing. It doesn't take a lot of, you don't have to walk. You can open your mouth and sing.
Right.
So you keep doing it. And that's great.
Right.
That's great. That's as it should be. One should never get too old to do the things they love.
That's right. And Peggy was telling me that Peggy had a knee replacement not too long ago, just a few weeks ago, and she went to see her son, and her bedroom she had to go up 16
steps, and by the time, well, when I first looked at it, I thought, oh my gosh, I better put a pallet down here on the living room floor. But after walking that 2 or 3 days, I got so I could go left, right. You know, for a long time when you first walk in,
Yeah.
you take one foot up and then you pull the other one up. But I
Right.
got so I could go up and down. So that was good for me. It was
Right,
really good for
right,
me.
right.
Got lots of exercise.
Yeah, Peggy's almost back to normal now. Or at least
I
she
don't
should
know
appear
what
to be.
normal is. Sometimes I wonder what normal is.
Exactly. By the way, our friend John, who is the lead host on this show most of the time, is not here today because he had hip replacement surgery while we were off, and Peggy and I think both have talked with him or texted.
Yeah,
and
he's
since then, so
it
he's-
hurts. Anytime you have any kind of replacement,
Right.
it's going to hurt. But today, he wrote a locu, and I wish I'd have brought it to read to you, but that's his poetry.
Yeah.
And I decided he maybe had a glimmer of hope because he has started writing again.
He's back thinking straight
Yeah,
then.
he's
if
back
he's,
thinking.
If he's
And
able
it's
to
hard.
write.
For a few days, you think, oh, I'm passing on, you know.
Yeah.
So did you watch the Titans game?
I did watch the Titans game, and if you live in Tennessee and you happen to be a fan of University of Tennessee or the Tennessee Titans, you've had a pretty good week because
Yeah.
both of them won.
Both of them won.
Tennessee won over Indiana in their bowl game in a dramatic finish. Tennessee wins by 1, and quite a comeback for Tennessee and also for the program because a lot of Tennessee fans, including me, have suffered through several years of things not going so well for us, but it
Well,
appears
that's a
that
bone
it-
chiller when it's
yeah,
1 point.
right.
That's amazing. Exciting for the group.
And they're just handed me this. The Bonnaroo released their lineup for this year's
Oh,
Bonnaroo Music Festival today, this
So who do
morning,
we
I
got?
think. Well, one of them is Tool. Is that the name of a group?
Tool.
Okay.
Any of you
Okay.
guys out there heard of Tool?
Okay. Now you've all heard of Miley Cyrus, and she's
Well,
going to be there
Miley
this
Cyrus, yeah. She's a
Lizzo,
Tennessee girl.
Lana Del Rey,
I've heard of Lizzo.
Primus, Grand Ole Opry, and hundreds more. Anyway,
Well, it'll be a
that's coming up June 11th through June the 14th. So,
Bonnaroo.
and I think you can start buying tickets now. Is that
Oh,
correct?
I'm sure you can.
You know, what did he say? Thursday.
Thursday.
Thursday. Okay, tickets are on
You
sale
know how much
Thursday.
they are? $4,000. It gets more every year, doesn't
Are
it?
they $4,000, Philip? Almost. Okay. And it's times like this when we can converse with our friends in the control room that I love. We used to actually use earpieces back in the old
now we
old
just
days.
holler at 'em?
Now we just holler back at them, you know, and that's how it kind of works now. By the way, Peggy, I guess you have made some New Year's resolutions.
I make resolutions every morning. This is the day I'm going to eat no bread, no soda. I don't do sodas, but no, I don't really make
Yeah.
resolutions. Do you?
Not really.
I don't-
But however,
But I do every day think of what I want to do.
Right. Research has shown that about 60% of Americans do make resolutions. And here's the disturbing thing. About 60% of Americans make resolutions, but only about 8%
Follow
are
through.
successful
Yeah.
in completing that. So
That's the reason I'm careful what I decide to do.
saving money is one of the top 5 New Year's resolutions, and also the top 5 for the most commonly failed resolutions as
The
well.
money one, yeah.
More than half of the people who responded to this survey, and this is a survey that involved about 2,000 people, more than half the people said they usually fail with their resolutions by January 31st. So
Some by January 3rd, I'm sure.
yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
Women usually make health-focused resolutions, while men have a tendency to find a new job. Their resolution is to find a new job or stay off alcohol. I can see that
That's a
happening.
good point.
Yeah.
Have you made resolutions?
Well, I make one every year because I have to go on a diet.
Yeah.
after
So you can get in your clothes.
So I can still wear my clothes after the holiday.
I know that feeling.
The top 10, and speaking of diets, the top 10 resolutions are diet or eat healthier. 71% of the people who made resolutions said that diet or
Yeah.
getting healthier was.
I believe that. Yeah.
Exercise more, that's kind of related, was 65%.
And it is a proven fact. People that exercise live longer.
Yeah, absolutely. Lose weight, and 54% made that
That's so hard.
resolution. 32% said they want to save more money and spend less money. Spend less money.
That can be accomplished. People get, they get lackadaisical about money. I can go in a store and not buy anything.
Yeah.
And I have a friend that used to say, I don't know how you do that. You just go in the store and you look around and you don't buy anything. How can you do that?
Well, you know what, Peggy, I have to say that is unusual somewhat
I know.
for a woman.
I don't like to shop. It's not a thing I like to do.
I don't either, but in this day and age with the internet, you can shop online. And
but I'm a kind of a list.
I like to do that.
I make a list. And, if it's on my list, then I go get it.
Right.
But I don't have to shop for it. I know where it is. I go get it. I buy it, and I'm gone.
Well, I've read that when you're buying groceries, when you go to the grocery store, you spend lots less money if you made a list and
if you're not hungry.
Right.
Don't get groceries when you're hungry.
Right. Okay. More on the resolutions. 26% said they plan to learn a new skill or pick up a new hobby during this current year. That is good. And 21% said they want to quit smoking.
Oh my gosh, that should be 100%.
Well, and the significant thing to me, looking at that, is I think today in the United States, about 25%, 1 in 4 people smoke, and so if 21% of them are resolving to.
No, that's pretty good.
That's pretty good. It's a lot less than it was in the 50s or 60s, when 60 or 70%.
In that period of time, it was on every advertisement. If you were cool, you were smoking on a cigarette. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's terrible.
Right.
And it's not healthy. And vaping has gotten a little flack lately also, but hopefully it's not as bad. I don't know.
Okay. We're about out of time, so that was the gist of it anyway. Yeah, I think we're about out of time. We are going to take a quick commercial break, folks. Stay with us. We'll be right back in just a moment with more living right after this.
Clayton has been Tullahoma's family shoe store for over 100 years with a reputation for fashion and personal service. And the tradition continues today. Stop by Clayton and see our large selection of fine shoes.
We're gonna fit your style. We're gonna make you smile. Service and quality at Clayton Shoe Store. We're gonna fit your style.
Ah, the glory days. Running to daylight on the gridiron and chasing a ball with a mind of its own. Cheering the team to victory and marching to the beat of your own drum. Memories that last a lifetime. But sometimes we're reminded of our glory days in ways we'd rather forget. Get back in the game. The rehab team at Life Care Center of Tullahoma is ready to help you live and play well.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
Talking history about this and that. It's Conversations with John and Pat. With John and Pat. With John and Pat.
Hello everyone, I'm John Rickman and this is Pat Welch, and we are here today for the 12th rendition of Conversation with John and Pat. Well, John, I've got it on good accord that the bookies in Tullahoma on the over and under, it was sitting at 12, whether we could make it this far. So I'm pleased to be here today.
I am too. And I've got a little special song picked out.
Perfect. About for session 12.
This is the first time I ever took a chew of tobacco, which most proper people won't want to do that, I would say. But
well, that's humbling yourself to admit you've been wrong.
Well, when I was a young man still in school, I worked on the farm of as stout as a mule with any full-grown man that I thought I could do. I was tough as leather and about half mean. I'd rather fight than eat ice cream, but I met my match when I took my first chew. We was hauling hay one hot July, was kind of smart and all to this old guy who was driving the tractor. His name was Mr. Hugh. He spit on the ground, said, "You young punk, I know you think you're pretty tough, but you ain't no man till you've took your first chew. Well, I'm as much as a man as you'll ever see. Give that chewing tobacco hit of me. I thought if old man Hugh could chew, then I could too." He pulled out a sack of Tennessee Twist. He broke off a hunk as big as your fist. And that's the day when I took my first chew. With the chew in my jaw, went back to work when the darned old tractor gave a jerk. Swallowed all that old brown juice in the back of two. I coughed, I spit, I gagged, I groaned like a dog strangled on a chicken bone that terrible day when I took my first chew. Then the whole wide world started spinning around. I got so dizzy I had to sit down, and looking back at me with a grin was old man Hugh. My stomach did flip, so I almost cried. I thought for a while I was gonna die that awful day when I took my first chew. The little beads of sweat popped out on me. I crawled like a baby to the nearest tree, and they were laughing at a slap at his knee was old man Hugh. But I didn't care, I'd done turned green. I was the sickest thing you've ever seen that awful day when I took my first chew. In the shade of that tree I laid till night. Even then I didn't feel right. I stayed in bed with the heaves for a day or two. Once I drunk hard liquor that would curl your hair. I smoked cedar bark, but it didn't compare with that awful day when I took my last chew. You know,
wasn't that great?
There was a Tullahoma a little story about that. One time when I was a junior high coach at Old East Junior High School, there was a young man that was my track manager, and we were pouring a shot put area, you know, where the kids could do their track, and so we had a concrete truck come over, and they smoothed out the concrete, and later on we would put circles there and make it real nice. But I had my managers to stay over that night and make sure nobody came by and did any mischief to the concrete while it was sitting there still fresh. So I went over to check these boys, and they had a campfire going. This was on the old campus, you know, they had a campfire going. They were really having a big time. And one of my managers said, "Hey, Coach Rickman, give me a chew of your tobacco." And I gave him a sack. I don't know what kind it was, some leaf tobacco, and he took some, and I just left them. You know, they were doing all right, and their rides were coming. I wanted to make sure that they were okay. And a week or so later, his mother told me the story that he got so sick on that tobacco that he never would chew tobacco again. That he stayed. I'm ashamed to say this almost, but it taught the boy a good lesson not to do tobacco anymore. And we laugh about it when I see that young man today and his mother. We laugh about it. People here would know his name, but I didn't ask him about telling that story, so I choose to leave that out.
That is a good one. I think we've talked in here before, John, that I came to Tullahoma in 1979, which had been a little after you came here to teach. But anyway, I came and worked at the Builder Supply for 26 years, and Mr. Sanders' father-in-law was managing it, and he had a tobacco use story similar to that, in that he had a slight heart attack at some point, and he was really checked his diet real close, and made Miss Sanders believe that he was off of tobacco. And a salesman came in with something, a twist, which boys from Chapel Hill know more about it than I do, but it was really strong chewing tobacco, and he got a wad of that while that salesman was there. Well, Miss Sanders came by, and when he realized that she was on the sidewalk or something, he ended up swallowing it. And it was, he said he never worked a day that he was sicker at the Builder Supply than that day. But that probably pretty well cured him.
I've got one thing, one little story. We would chew tobacco when I was in high school in the shop class. And kids, don't ever do this. I mean, this is way back when tobacco was more not as taboo. The Surgeon General hadn't made any reports about tobacco being harmful. But I remember one time having to swallow my tobacco because the principal asked me a question and I had that in my mouth and I couldn't answer it without having swallowed that, and I wouldn't let him know about it. So, but somehow I didn't get sick. It was a terrible experience, but it was sort of it's something that we do as kids we shouldn't have.
Well, there's a good segue, John. Terrible experiences, and just talked about the Builder Supply. Mr. Harry Brooks just passed away, and I saw where his...
Good fella.
He was a great fella, and I saw where his daughter-in-law, I believe, posted on the funeral home website that he fought cancer for 17 years bravely, and so I would have known him, of course, when he first diagnosed, but I never knew he had it. He was, he was just such a good guy and tough guy, and he came by Builder Supply a lot, and this would have been probably in the 80s, early 80s, if not any past say mid 80s, but anyway, at that time the office had a flat roof and had a lot of leaks in it, and before we put a pitched roof on it, to extend the life of that roof, the area above some windows at the top where the casings were had pretty bad leaks. And so when we had a bad forecast, we were selling gallon plastic buckets on the floor, and we just had nails put in up in that casing up almost to the ceiling and hung the buckets to collect the water, keep it off the stock that we were selling. Well, Friday came and had a bad forecast, so we put the buckets up. I had a bad storm. Sunday morning, no sun was out, and a great day for business, and the people were pouring in, and Harry came in real early and looked inside and asked Larry Broderick, who was sitting directly in front of him, if he had a plastic bucket. And so Larry looked on the floor where they're supposed to have been, and he said, "No, Harry, there's none here." Well, our good friend Larry Burt was a shipping clerk, and he was in the back and heard that proclamation that we didn't have any buckets, and he saw them. He'd hung them up on Friday, so he said, no, we've got plenty right up here. And he never took his eye off those buckets. He was the hero coming to the rescue, and he comes around from the side and goes in front of the sales desk in front of where Larry was. And to reach up to get the bucket, he had to have a chair. So he took one of those old ladder back chairs and pulled that chair, never looked anywhere except at the bucket, pulled the chair and started up. Well, when he pulled the chair, Harry was sitting down. And now Harry's in the floor. And Mr. Larry Burt had no idea that Harry Brooks was on the floor. And he got the bucket and was a little bit clumsy coming down, and the bucket was about half full of rainwater, and he poured that whole bucket of water on Mr. Brooks on the floor. So Mr. Sanders was there, and he was watched the whole thing, and his eyes got bigger and bigger and bigger, and his whole countenance said, "The Builders was started in 1916. We made it all the way here to 84, or whatever it was. This may be our last day at the Builder Supply." And Harry got off the floor and he said, "Mr. Sanders, don't worry about anything." He said, "There's no hard feelings." He said, "Normally a man have to buy a ticket to see something like that." And they are telling us, John, that our ticket's been punched.
Our ticket's been punched.
And the 12th edition of the Conversations of John and Pat is over, but it's not the last one, we hope.
Talking history about this and that. It's Conversations with John and Pat. With John and Pat. With John and Pat.
Keith Keith Barnett here at Russell Barnett Ford of Winchester. Check out the 2018 Ford F-150 as low as $34,739. That's Russell Barnett Ford on 41A in Winchester, home of the lifetime powertrain warranty. And remember, my question is, why buy anywhere else?
You made the time and the sacrifice to broaden their horizons, to see their smiles, but mostly to make lifelong memories. We think it's time to do it again, just the two of you. Don't let illness or injury slow you down. The rehab team at Life Care Center of Tullahoma is ready to help you live well.
It's time for every family and business in Tullahoma to go green and recycle. Tullahoma Public Works makes it simple and easy to recycle. Just place your recyclable materials, paper, plastic, aluminum, and cardboard beside your garbage container on the same day your garbage is picked up. Your recycled materials don't have to be in a fancy container. Recycling is not only the right thing to do, it makes sense. Recycling pays. Paying to bury our garbage costs each of us. Please do your part. Let's go green, Tullahoma, and recycle.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
Welcome back. I have such a treat for you today. I've waited for a long time to have this group on the show. I want to introduce to you the Hardy family. Guys, wave at everybody.
There you go.
I decided I would ask, this is Jim Hardy and his wife Jenny, and they have fostered to adopt most of these children. And I'm going to let each child introduce yourself just briefly, and you can kind of scream it out if they might hear it and they might not. Let's start with this baby right here. What's your name? What's your name?
Oh, we got
Can you show
Bashful.
us your teeth? Can we see your teeth?
Show your teeth right here. We lost 2 teeth. So
She's lost some teeth.
This is Olivia.
Yeah, this is Olivia. Okay, and next?
Who are you?
Lucas, and how old are you, Lucas? 4 years old, and your sister's 5. I know that. Okay, we're going across.
I'm Mackenzie.
I know Mackenzie, but Mackenzie is a beautiful girl, and she's a singer, and she's an actress, and she can do a million things. And behind her,
my name's DC.
DC is also an actor, and I just found out he's got the lead role in Pirates of Penzance coming up at South Jackson Civic Center in March. And that's our youth organization for homeschoolers, correct? That'll be great.
Yes, ma'am.
And this pretty little girl in glasses?
Emma.
I know you too, Emma, another dancer, singer. And
Zach,
who also dances, sings. I am so impressed with this group because the first time I met them, was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Was it 2 years?
Yes.
And I just think you're the most beautiful family. What made you decide to foster children and adopt?
Well, we tried for a long time to have kids of our own. We couldn't. And honestly, I think fostering was a way to fill that need.
Yeah, my parents were foster parents, so we gave it a shot.
And you gave it a shot, and you did a good job. And this is, Olivia's yours.
Yes.
It's our only biological.
Your only biological child. And you have 3 more at home.
Yes, ma'am.
And what ages are they?
27, 23, and 21.
And 21. So it's all the way down. You got.
Yes, we're that crazy
you guys
family
could do
that
the
just
Sound of Music. The hills are alive.
Yeah.
You could do it. It'd be great. Fostering, people that don't know what fostering to adopt is, it just means you get the children, you love them, and then you go through the process of adoption, which, is it easy to adopt?
It's different with every one of our children.
Really?
Yes. Some from out of state, it's a little harder. If you're not related to them anyway, it's even more difficult.
But it's not as bad what people make it sound.
It's not as bad
just an
as-
effort. You have to put forth the effort.
Mackenzie, how old were you when they adopted you?
I adopted her.
Okay.
She came with Jim first.
All right.
What were you, 5?
Do you remember?
I don't remember.
You don't
You were
remember?
5. I think you were 4.
Yeah.
And DC,
15. I came with my younger biological brother, Lucas.
So you came with Lucas when you were 15 years. 15.
Yes, 15.
15.
And now you're 16.
17.
17. I should have figured that out. 'Cause I've known you for 2 years. And do you remember how it felt to be in this family?
Well, I lived with them in the past, and I mean, they're a really good family. I couldn't ask for a better one. They teach me things every day, and
I think the beauty of this family is you told me that they're all studying different things. I know they take voice lessons. A lot of them. I don't, maybe not these babies.
All four of these.
All 4 of those are voice.
All those 4 take voice lessons.
And we have 5 in guitar.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
5 taking guitar lessons.
We've done piano, of course, theater.
And theater, which
Yes.
is homeschoolers have a wonderful program, and I'm so glad that South Jackson Civic Center has finally instigated a
It's amazing. It
homeschool
is an
program.
amazing program.
And it happens in Manchester at MAC. They have a homeschool program,
we're doing
which is
Frozen
also
this time.
fabulous.
And this is, I think, the first time we're going to be doing theater at the MAC. At the Civic Center, they're going to be doing Joseph as well. So
Oh my gosh.
we have 3 shows going on.
You have
It's,
3
it's
shows
a little
going
crazy
at one time.
with
Do you
these
have
kids.
Uber to help you out?
We have Mom and Dad's taxi
Yeah, Mom
service.
and Dad's taxi service.
We live at the different theaters.
Yeah. Well,
Yes, ma'am.
obviously it's been good. Zach, I see you in a lot of things. I know recently. What was the last thing that I saw you in on stage?
High School Musical.
High School Musical.
I was
I couldn't
Ryan.
think of it. But that was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun. And you 4 were in that, weren't you?
Yes.
Yes.
Do you have a favorite part, Zach, that you got to do?
Either Bonsai from Lion King or Ryan from High School Musical.
Okay. Lion King, that was fun.
It was really fun.
And the one coming up, Pirates of Penzance, that's a different sort of play.
Yeah.
And right now I can't think of a song from it, but
it's very operatic.
is
Yes,
do you do that one?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. What is that? The name of it? I can't think
I think it's
of it.
just the Major General song.
Yeah, the Major General
I am the very
song.
model
I
of
love
a modern
that.
Major General.
Yeah, a lot of words. You gonna memorize it all?
I've already memorized half of it.
I'm not surprised. I'm not
memorized it
surprised.
for
You
his
probably know
audition.
everybody's song in the show. Emma, you're in it too, aren't
Yeah.
you?
I am in the pirate ensemble.
Good. And you are?
I'm in the sister ensemble.
The
Sister.
Which? Okay. And you're in there too, aren't you, Zach?
Yeah, I think Zach's the
I'm
police ensemble.
police.
You're a policeman? Okay. Well, I'll look forward to seeing that. And that, I don't know the date. Is it March 8th? I don't know why that.
I think it's the 10th, 11th.
10th or 11th.
And then
Anyway,
again
it'll run-
the next week
yeah,
as well.
and it'll be for people to come see it, or for schools, I think.
Yes.
Will be open to schools. Well, let me ask you this question, Jenny. Do you think you'll take another child?
We get asked that all the time. And right now my answer is 8's enough.
8's enough. Well, I guess you do have to stop somewhere, and I think that you are an example that would cause other people to think, hey, I could do that.
I hope so.
It takes a lot of commitment and a lot of love. I think. I see that in your family.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think that is one of the things I noticed first, that you have such a great sense of compassion and love for other people. And I
all
want to see
different.
these teeth. I want you to smile for
smile.
me.
Can you smile?
Yes,
There
they
we
are.
go for the camera.
I love it. I love it, love it, love it.
I'll tell you, it's a fun adventure. We love it, and those who say you really can't do it because of the money, or it's not. You find a way to make it
You
happen.
find a way to do it.
And it becomes a joy.
And you find people are generous sometimes
Yes.
to help out. And
Oh yes, and we help each other out a lot too. There's a lot of us that are a group, and we pass down clothes, and we share cells, and I mean.
Well, that's true, and I know that my sister's clothes passed down to me, and I remember one incident, and it involves the theater. I'll have to laugh. I'm going to tell this. I was 5 years old, and I wasn't even in school, because back in those days they didn't have kindergarten. I just went to school with my sister because I wanted to go, and my grandmother would let me go. So they put me in the school play, and my memory of the school play was my mother bought me new underwear. I love that story because I had hand-me-downs forever. And anyway, you're a beautiful family, and such an inspiration to me. I love each and every one of you, and I admire what you're doing, and really, I don't know what to say except thank you. Fabulous group. Any last words that you want to say, anybody?
Anybody?
You ready to go? All right. So, wave goodbye to the audience, and we'll be back with who knows what.
Here at Manchester Funeral Home, we know the importance of living and working in our local community because it's those families who we serve during their time of need honorably. We believe in supporting local business and offer only 100% Batesville caskets, the best in the industry and a driver of our local economy. If you want straightforward and fair pricing while working with the people you know, choose Manchester Funeral Home, serving your community since 1932. And pre-planning and pre-funding can be the best gift you ever leave your loved ones. Call us to pre-arrange. Manchester Funeral Home. Our family, caring for your family since 1932.
If you want to be a parent, it doesn't matter how you play, what you wear, how you dance, or even what direction life takes you. You just need to be there. You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care don't need perfection. They just need you.
How long has it been since you raced a cheetah? Are your tornado creating skills getting rusty? Tired of being the only one in your neighborhood who hasn't built a dinosaur? Sounds like it's time to visit the Hands-On Science Center. The Hands-On Science Center is an indoor science playground. In this museum, please touch is the rule. Join us for weekly science demonstrations on space, lasers, lizards, rocks, and a whole lot more. No two visits are ever the same, so visit often to see our ever-changing exhibits and demonstrations. The Hands-On Science Center, 101 Mitchell Boulevard in Tullahoma.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's a pleasure to be here to share some good old Tullahoma history with everyone. And today's topic will be on railroading. Tullahoma, of course, was a railroad town, and 150 years ago, they started building the railroad between Nashville and Chattanooga, the Nashville and Chattanooga Railroad, and they completed it about 1855. And then they continued to build the branch line from Tullahoma to Manchester and McMinnville and Sparta. A great way to send goods all over the country from this part of Tennessee. Hardwood was one of the great commodities and products of the Middle Tennessee area, and thousands and thousands of board feet of hardwood were shipped out of here. Also, one of the great products and activities agriculture-wise was the tobacco industry. They had a tobacco war in Springfield and Robertson County around the turn of the century, and they moved, some of the tobacco growers moved to Tullahoma because the soil here was much like that in Robertson County, and acres of fine, dark-fired tobacco was raised here, and they shipped their tobacco in 550-pound rolls called hogsheads, and the freight depot was just full of that, and they sent carload after carload of fine tobacco out of this area. And some people might not know that in Deckard, Tennessee, they ship tons and tons of sweet potatoes by rail to the seaports to ship by ship to Europe and South America, and Deckard, Tennessee was known as the sweet potato capital of the world, and it too was shipped by railroad. The photograph that I show here on the screen is the second depot. The first depot was burned, and this one was built in the 100 block of North Atlantic Street. If you can see it, there's a hotel right behind it. It was the Park Hotel. It burned later, but the freight depot and the passenger depot were in the 100 block of North Atlantic Street, and meant a whole lot to Tullahoma because there were 16 passenger car trains that came through Tullahoma until 1968, and you could get anywhere you wanted to, from Tullahoma to Chicago to Florida. And they had 3 or 4 streamline trains, the Georgian and the Flagler and the South Wind, that you could, and the Dixie Flyer, you could get on at 3 o'clock in the afternoon and be in Chicago the next morning at 7 o'clock, and it was wonderful, the freight and the schedules that they made. Very important part to the commerce of Tullahoma and Tennessee. A great part, and it's amazing to me that they have not changed the routes. They must have had good surveyors on the railroads, because those tracks are still right there just like they were 150 years ago. And it meant a whole lot to Tennessee and this area to have such good railroad facilities. The freight depot was moved in 1921 2 blocks south, because when the freight train stopped to load and unload, they blocked Grundy Street and Lincoln Street for motorized traffic. Freight became so motorized and carried in trailers and trucks so much that they discontinued some of the local freight business by railroad, and the freight depot on South Atlantic Street was raised in 1968. And the present building, or depot as it is now in the 300 block of North Atlantic Street, was moved in 1941 when Camp Forrest was first established here, because of the massive troops and people that went by passenger train all over the country. It was great, and again, much of Tullahoma's history is related to railroading. Thank you very much, and we see you next week on A Moment for the Millennium. Thank you very much.
Keith Barnett here at Russell Barnett Kia in Tullahoma. Check out the 2019 fully loaded V6 Kia Sorento, up to $6,400 off original MSRP. That's Russell Barnett Kia in Tullahoma, home of the lifetime powertrain warranty. And remember, why buy anywhere else?
My wife Jackie has always been the life of the party. But things changed when she couldn't be as active anymore.
They told me I needed a double knee replacement.
It's not as big a deal as it used to be, but she still needed to go to rehab.
I was amazed at how good the therapists were at Life Care. They took really good care of me.
They took excellent care of her. And now she's back doing the things she loves, and that makes everyone happy.
Life Care Center of Tullahoma wants you to get active and live well.
So you've been meaning to do something healthy, commune with nature, get outdoors and meet new people. We have the perfect solution. Come hike with us. You can find a Tennessee Trails Association chapter near you, including Clarksville, Columbia Franklin, Highland Rim, Jackson, Knoxville, Oak Ridge, Memphis, Murfreesboro, Nashville, Plateau at Crossville, and Upper Cumberland. We're on the web at TennesseeTrails.org. It's fun, it's stress-free, and it's good for you. See you on the trails.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
Welcome back, folks, and we're pleased to have joining us on the Sit now Lyle Russell from the Tullahoma Recreation Department, who was telling me just a moment ago, as we start the new year, he's faced with enormous challenges trying to keep coming up with exciting activities for our citizens of Tullahoma that use the rec department.
Yeah, it's always a struggle, and now we've got a new year, so we're trying to come up with some new things to get people excited about getting out. So.
Yeah, and I think you've hit on some things here that you're.
Yeah, I've got a couple. The first one I'll tell you about today. We're trying to work with a couple other very good groups here in town that a lot of people may not know about. There's two extraordinary groups of people. The Friends of Short Springs is one of them, and also the Tennessee Trails Association, which I think you just saw a commercial for. So I'm working on a program with them where we're going to try and get people out, just get them out hiking a little bit. That's something that I really like to do. You know, having a background in Boy Scouts, and I know they love to do it. That's their hobby, and Friends of Short Springs do such a great job of keeping that up out there with the help from TVA and a little bit from us. So we need to show it off. True story, I was in Lowe's not too long ago, and I struck up a conversation with the couple that was waiting in line behind me, and they asked me if, how long have you lived in Tullahoma and all that stuff. So we started talking about that. And, when I told them I work for Parks and Rec, they said, well, where is there a good place to go around here to go hiking? And I said, oh, you got to go out and see Short Springs if you haven't been there. And they said, we don't even know where that is. And so I told them a little bit about it. And, they had lived here for almost 5 years and had never been there. Yeah. And so I thought, wow, that's amazing, because it's a beautiful place. It's got one of the, I think it's in the top 10 waterfalls in Tennessee to go visit out at Machine Falls. So I thought, well, we got to fix this. So we're going to do this program where I'm going to try and do a guided hike once every 2 months. So we'll try and do 6 throughout the year. So you'll get some wintertime, spring, summer, fall, and then back into winter again. Cold weather hiking, hot weather hiking. We're going to do some instructional things about that, how to dress, things to bring. Just kind of make it a beginner's course to get out and enjoy some things and do it safely.
Right. I'm guessing, and you being a former scout probably already know this, but I'm guessing that there are some technical things the person needs to know before they just jump into that.
Oh, sure. Even Short Springs is a pretty contained area. It's got a pretty good distance in walking. But there's not really a lot of places back there where you can get into serious trouble, but there are some places that if you don't know what you're doing, you could get stuck out there, or you could get injured and things like that. So part of what I want to make this program into is how to go out and enjoy it safely for people who have never been, or maybe have done it a couple times but may not know what they're doing yet. So we want to change that.
Is that about, Lyle, is that about learning the terrain, or is it just fundamental hiking things?
When you go hiking, there's a lot of things to consider. Obviously weather, who's going with you, so ability levels. You may have an experienced hiker, and then you may have a young child who's used to walking around the house or the yard. So if you plan a 2-mile hike and you bring a 4-year-old on that hike, you're going to have a few things with you to help keep the interest, make sure they don't get tired. If they do get tired, how are you going to get them back out? So there's a lot of things to consider. The terrain is a big one. What kind of things you might run into, if there's any first aid situations, or make sure you bring plenty of water. know the trail markers, and know how to get in and how to get out. So we're going to cover a lot of that stuff.
And I guess there are basic first aid materials that you probably should carry with you.
Oh,
in
absolutely.
That kind of situation.
Absolutely, yeah. And even if it's not necessarily for you, I mean, I've been on hikes before where I've come across other people who were injured, and so we were able to help them because of what we brought with us. And so,
because of your background in Boy Scouts, you're always prepared. Right?
Well, I try to be.
Right.
It doesn't always work, but I try to be. So we want to get people out and enjoying that. And I think back to that couple that I met in Lowe's and thought, wow, lived here for 5 years and still haven't gone out and seen this beautiful waterfall that we have right here in our own backyard.
Right.
So we're going to try to fix that. So the first hike that I'm planning to do is February 29th. We're going to make it a leap year hike. And I'll have some more details forthcoming on our Facebook page and some flyers that I'm going to do up.
Right. And you may need to come back and update us.
Oh yeah, I'll be back before then anyway to tell you about that. So the other program I want to tell you about, though, this one's a little more indoors. As a personal hobby, I like to write. And I'm a member of the Lanham Library Writers Group, but it's for adults. It's for 18 and up. We've had a couple of younger folks that have come in that wanted to join that, and because of the way that writers groups work and instructional and things that need to be done in that, it's not really necessarily the best place for under 18 to go. Not that the library's not. Library is a wonderful place to go, but this program was set up for adults. So in working with them, I went over and talked to the librarians, and I've talked to a couple other writer friends of mine that live in the area. So we're going to start a teen writers group. It's going to meet every other Monday. We're going to meet the first and third Monday of the month, and we're going to start on the 20th of January. And it's for writers 13 to 19, and it can be anything if they write poetry, novels, whatever it is that they write. We would love to have them come in and share it. There'll be some instructional parts of that as well. I've got some really good friends in this area that are really good at that kind of stuff. Your own John Gray being one of them.
Right.
So we'll have him come in maybe once and talk to our youth and instruct them on the ways of writing and help them become better writers themselves.
Right. So, and I'm guessing at that age, 13 to 19, they're really impressionable and they're in their formative years of that, and this can be extremely helpful.
Well, one of the things I learned from the ladies at the library, and they're fantastic. If you don't go to Lanham Library and visit, you need to go if you haven't been there in a while. But we were talking about the books that youth are reading. Young adult novels and young adult fiction is probably the hottest market in writing right now, and who better to write stories for young adults than young adults?
Right.
So so if there's a youth out there in Tullahoma that's interested in writing or wanting to write that kind of stuff, we'd love to have them come out and share their work. We'll do some critiques. We'll go over just some basic writing skills, things that I've learned in my brief career as a writer, and I'll get some other writers to come in and talk about that. So it's going to be pretty exciting. I hope we get some folks out. There's a lot of talented people in this town.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, across the board, music, writing, entertainment, all that stuff. There's some talent in this town, and I think that this may be an untapped market.
And if you want to sign up for either one of these programs, do you just call the rec department?
Yeah, well, for the Teen Writers Group, absolutely. You can just show up. It's going to be from 6 to 8. And like I said, we're going to start on January 20th. And I'll have a lot more information at that meeting.
Right.
And also, especially, of course, when working with youth, we encourage the parents to come. We want parents to either come in and sit in the meeting with them or at least be involved.
Right.
So we want the parents there for that one. For the hikes, we are going to do sign-ups. Like I said, once I have more details, time and what time of day we're going, we'll put more of that out on our Facebook page.
Right.
Or they can call me at the center.
Yeah.
Our number is 455-1121, and our Facebook page is Tullahoma Parks and Recreation. On Facebook.
And probably if you've got an idea of something you'd like to see happen over there, you can run that by
Absolutely.
Lyle, and he'll
my ideas are not always the best ideas, so I'm always open for suggestions.
What sort of writer are you? What kind of things do you write?
Well, two things. I'm writing a historical fiction novel now, which I'm expecting to be finished up in the spring. So I'm excited about that. I'm ready to have this out.
Yeah.
And then I also write pop culture and Star Wars and science fiction news for our website.
I see.
We've got over 100 articles posted for that, so that's been a lot of fun. And
when do you have time to do that? Are you doing?
I'm a night owl.
Oh, you're a night owl. Okay.
I'm clacking at the keyboard all the time. So.
Okay. All right, lots of things going on in the Tullahoma Rec Department as always, and call Lyle if you have a suggestion or you'd like to get involved in either one of these lines. Thank you so much for coming by.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
We'll be right back with more living right after this.
Oh, hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is the paint. Uh-oh. I just knocked a tree over. This is the paint doctor. I got the color wheel. Now, you know what a color wheel is? It is the wheel at the paint works where you pick all your colors to paint your room. It could be a multicolored beard. It could be a underarm fan. You never can tell. One thing we do know is that it's time to paint. You know, you can make your wife very happy if you go to your house and paint some rooms, or you paint the outside of the house, the inside of the house. It makes them feel very good because you work hard for them and they like that. All women like to see their man sweat, you know? They do. Honeydew is what they do. And you get to do it too. So you go to the paint works at 1960 North Washington Street and you see David Ikonen over there, and he's the real paint doctor. He fix you up with color. It's so nice when the color is right. Go to Paintworks today. Martin Senor. See? Martin Senor. Right there. Martin Senor at the Paintworks. Bye, and we see you next time. I'm burning up.
You know what, guys? There's a lot of tree branches and dry brush over here. We should probably move the bonfire over there.
I'm guessing Smokey liked that idea.
Okay, so what would you bring to my company?
What do you need?
I need problem-solving skills.
I got through high school without a car, a phone, or a computer.
No college degree, though.
Not yet, but life's taught me a lot, and I'm ready for more.
Well, you're not the typical kind of candidate that I hire. But you are exactly what I'm looking for.
Your company could be missing out on the candidates it needs most. Learn how to find a great pool of untapped talent at gradsoflife.org.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
Second best, I'm done counting my regrets, letting golden chances pass me by. I'm done with playing it safe, I'm done with never taking time to overcome these fears of mine. I'm not settling with mediocre, I'm just getting by, days are over. I want better, I want more. I know what I was put here for. Not done raising up the bar till I'm up so high I can touch the stars. Life's too short to give up on the dream. Halfway's good for some, but not for me. I'm not settling. wishing I had tried. I'm done with being satisfied with something less than everything that I need. I'm done with who I was. I'm done thinking just enough is ever gonna be okay with me. I'm not settling with mediocre. Am I just getting by? Days are over. I want better, I want more. I know what I was put here for. Not done raising up the bar till I'm up so high I can touch the stars. Life's too short to give up on the dream. Halfway's good for some, but not for me. I'm not settling. I'm not settling with mediocre. Am I just getting by? Days are over. I want better, I want more. I know what I was put here for. Not done raising up the bar till I'm up so high I can touch the stars. Life's too short to give up on the dream. Halfway's good for some, but not for me. I'm not settling. I'm not settling.
Wow. Oh my gosh. I love that.
Thank you.
When did you write that?
I probably wrote it a couple months ago, probably 2
I
months ago.
love that. That is
Thank
beautiful.
you.
Then watch it. It's going to go to the top. This is Macy Tabor, back from last year and 17 now and moving
Yes,
on.
ma'am.
I read all the stuff that you have done, and probably you've done more, but somebody that keep their grades up and go sing every day of the week almost.
Yes, ma'am.
Where are you singing this weekend?
I think this weekend I'm singing at Opry Mills.
Opry Mills.
And coming up, actually, locally, on January 25th, I'm singing with a band at Prater's Barbecue.
Good. They do a lot of
Yes,
stuff
they do.
there, and that's Prater's. You want to tell them where Prater's is?
Yes, Prater's is in Manchester, and it's right there, kind of on the Woodbury Highway.
Right.
Yes.
Macy has written a lot of songs, and I am so impressed because how old were you when I first met you? 5 or 6?
Yeah, I was probably like 6 or 7.
You're just a
probably.
tiny little tot yodeling, and you have followed your dream, and that's what I'm so impressed with, and I know you're going to continue. You got another song for us?
Yes, ma'am.
What is...
This song, I actually plan on releasing it this year on Apple Music and all that stuff. But I wrote this with my friend Gina Jones, and it's called Uptown in a Small Town.
Okay.
Justin boots, no high heel shoes, country music, no jazz and blues. Football game on a Friday night, tear another town till sunlight. We don't like big city ways. That's just how we were raised. 'Cause we're uptown in a small town. Camo and blue and jeans is our suit and gown. Yeah, we're uptown in a small town, working hard for a living till the sun goes down. Yeah, we're uptown in a small town. Fancy car, oh, it looks so nice, would go for a spin, but it ain't my type. Jacked up truck, won't you jump on in? Cooler in the back, tailgating again. We don't like big city ways. That's just how we were raised. 'Cause we're uptown in a small town. Camo and blue jeans is our suit and gown. Yeah, we're uptown in a small town, working hard for a living until the sun goes down. Yeah, we're uptown in a small town. We don't like big city ways. That's just how we were raised. 'Cause we're uptown in a small town. Camo and blue jeans is our suit and gown. Yeah, we're uptown in a small town, working hard for a living till the sun goes down. Yeah, we're uptown in a small town. Camo and blue jeans is our suit and gown. Yeah, we're uptown in a small town, working hard for a living till the sun goes down. Yeah, we're uptown in a small town. In a small town. In a small town.
That is great. Macy, what else will you do? I mean, you're writing songs, you're performing all over the place. You did Bonnaroo last year.
Yes,
You think you'll do that again?
Hopefully.
I'll bet you do. And you did the Lynchburg
Yes,
Festival, and not to mention all the stuff you do all over Nashville. And I'm so proud of you. I
Thank
just
you.
can't tell you how much it means to me that you have followed your dream. You don't give up, and that's what it takes. What would you, do you have any advice for young people that want to write music?
Well, if you want to learn, like if you want to write music and, you know, perform,
Yeah.
and I guess, you know, go for that dream, then you have to have, I guess, have perseverance.
I
is
think
what it
perseverance,
takes.
that's a huge word, because it's so easy to give up, to think, well, hey, I can't do this, I'm not good enough, or be. I don't see any nervousness in you ever, and that's a beautiful thing.
Thank you.
But perseverance, that works. I think that works in anything you do.
Yes, ma'am.
I'd love to hear you sing another one if you want to. We don't have a lot of time, but we'll just take it out with a song. Is that okay?
Yeah, sure.
And you promise to come back?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
All right.
If people want to hire you, can they go to that?
Yes. There should be an email on there. You can
Okay.
email me.
So if you want to email.
Yes, and you can
Pick
also find me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Macy Tabor. So.
Fantastic.
I'm gonna end on the song that I just recently put out this last year, and it was my first single to ever put out. And so the song is called Just Friends. I hope you guys like it. When you call me up late at night on the phone, it really drives me wild when you're begging me not to go. Whoa, you make me feel close when I know that I'm alone. I feel safe and sound, 'cause your voice feels like home. I don't wanna fall for you, but you're pulling me under. I can't refuse everything that you do. I adore, wishing that we could be something more.
pretend. Yeah, I don't wanna be friends no more, but we're just friends. Friends, that's what you wanna be, but if you're asking me, I don't wanna fall for you, but you're pulling me under, I can't refuse. Everything that you do, I adore, wishing that we could be something more. And I'm done playing pretend. Yeah, I don't wanna be friends no more. Friends, oh, I want you, boy, that's the truth. I don't know what else to do. I don't want to be friends, no, but we're just friends, oh.
Let me tell you about the toughest guy on earth. He does the work of 2 jobs, but only gets paid for one. He's tough enough to feed the man that gave him a lifetime of nourishment. He has the crazy strength to lift the man that raised him up without even flinching. That's right. No employee of the month bonus check here. This guy, no. This warrior will always be by his father's side, even if his dad will hardly remember. Good luck finding a gym to train for that. If this guy isn't the toughest guy on the planet, then I don't know who is. Caregiving is tougher than tough. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
Is this the year you want to get fit? If so, check out just some of the things Tullahoma Parks and Rec has to offer. Kickboxing, aerobics, silver sneakers workouts, swim lessons, boot camp, water aerobics, basketball, Zumba, yoga, pickleball, lap swimming, treadmill, karate. Get fit, Tullahoma, and have some fun with Tullahoma Parks and Rec.
When your family suffers the loss of a loved one, the caring and compassionate staff at Tullahoma Funeral Home and Coffee County Funeral Chapel are standing by to assist you in every way possible. We are proud to support local industry and offer only Batesville caskets. Many funeral homes don't own or operate a crematory. We utilize the only crematory in Coffee County. Your loved one never leaves Coffee County. We can accommodate any need and any budget. Consider our complete pre-need service to remove this burden from your family during their time of grief. Lock in today's low costs and protect from inflation. Tullahoma Funeral Home and Coffee County Funeral Chapel. Our family caring for your family.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, we made it through another show, didn't we?
We did. And Julia, who is always telling us stuff to get us fired up before the show, was telling Peggy now this great story right before we came on the air, and it's really cool, and I hope I can share that with you next week, but I don't have permission at the moment. We don't have permission at the moment.
Right.
Macy Tabor, what a talent.
What a talent. Listen,
you know.
I have watched her grow from a teeny tot to a professional musician. She's beautiful, she's personable, the smile would light up any room, but the talent is fantastic.
You know, and Peggy brought her on the show today, by the way, and Peggy always amazes me because, you know, when I first met Peggy, she was doing South Jackson all the time, and that's South Jackson Street Band, I mean.
Right.
And that's the kind of music you would associate with Peggy. And
but
she's pretty. You're a pretty versatile person that you like all kinds of
stuff.
I do.
I like all kinds of music, and I appreciate talent. I think there's one thing that's I recognize good talent, and I've recognized that with Macy for a long time.
Right.
So, and there's a lot of talent in this area, honestly.
Yeah.
It's loaded with talent. So.
Anyway, it's Peggy and I have had to kind of ease back into things today, as I told you at the start of the show. We've been off for 2 weeks, and we're missing John.
We're missing John, and I'm hoping that he's doing well and watching us and able to get up and move a little bit.
Well, when I talked to him yesterday, he was talking and acting pretty normal.
Good.
How many drugs he'd had? Well, John's never been normal. That's true. How many drugs he'd had to get to that point, I don't know. But you know,
I'll tell you, these surgeries do their job on you, and you've got to be positive, and you've got to look forward to tomorrow because it will get better.
All right. We're out of time for today's show. Thank you so much for watching Just Plain Living today. We'll see you again next week. Bye-bye.